So I'm going to move to Flint, Michigan, where a 7-year-old boy named Casper O'Brien is dead. His parents are now facing serious criminal charges as well. So according to the Associated Press, Casper's parents, Damien and Jessica O'Brien, have been charged with second-degree murder, torture, and multiple counts of child abuse. Prosecutors say he died in November, weighing 255 pounds. He was only 7 years old, and he reportedly stood just a little bit over 4 feet tall. Now, let's be clear, these are just charges. His parents are accused, and the case still has to move through the courts. But the facts described by investigators are disturbing. The medical examiner determined that Casper died from dilated cardiomyopathy, a heart condition with extreme weight and poor nutrition listed as its contributing factors. Prosecutors said Casper was bedridden, nonverbal, and had severe bed sores. They also said he had not been enrolled in school and had not seen a doctor since early of 24. So that's where the story becomes bigger than one household. The question is not just what happened inside the home, but how did nobody not know? So according to reports, prosecutors said Casper and his younger sister had no known contact with the school systems or child protective services. His sister has since been placed in foster care. Genesee County Prosecutor David Layton called it one of the most tragic cases he has seen in more than 2 decades. And that matters, right? Because when a child is not in school, not receiving regular medical care, or not being seen by outside adults, the safety gets thinner. And sometimes a child can suffer behind those closed doors with nobody watching. So tonight, we're not just asking about criminal charges, we're asking about systems. Who checks on children that are not in school? Who follows up when medical referrals are missed? And how do we protect children who cannot speak for themselves? Because Casper's story is not just heartbreaking, it's a warning as well. So let's get into the video. I'm going to add this to the stage. Let's get into the video. Let's see. Here we go. Going like this, y'all. Let's play this and let's listen in on what went on with this story.
This in my years as a prosecutor.
The parents of a 7-year-old boy who weighed more than 200 pounds face murder, child abuse, and torture charges. This story began to unfold on November 4th when a 911 call was made for a young boy in distress at a Flint Township home. He was rushed to a hospital, but he died. And Terry, the Genesee County prosecutor says this is just a terrible case of neglect.
Yeah, he does, Angie, and that's why his office has charged the parents with second-degree murder following the death of their 7-year-old Casper, their son. He was 50 inches tall and weighed 255 pounds when he died.
On the face of it, this is cruel and extreme suffering from this child caused by the neglect of the parents.
40-year-old Damien O'Brien and his wife, 41-year-old Jessica O'Brien, face the same charges in connection with the death of their 7-year-old son Casper. The most serious charge, second-degree murder. Flint Township Police came to this home on Dania on November 4th, 2025, for a report of a child in distress. Casper was taken to Hurley Medical Center, where he died a short time later. Medical reports indicate he weighed 255 pounds at the time of his death.
That's obesity. And then you also have the fact that this child did not have a pediatrician, was only taken to the doctor, I believe, according to the police reports, once.
The cause of death was dilated cardiomyopathy, which causes heart failure, with a contributing cause being morbid obesity. The CDC lists a healthy weight for a 7-year-old boy that is 50.5 inches tall, generally ranges between 50 and 73 pounds.
The dad has a good job. They have real health insurance. That morning that the child died, they had even called their veterinarian to have their dog treated.
The O'Briens also have a 5-year-old daughter.
None of these kids even existed in the eyes of the government. CPS had never been out there. Nobody knew about these kids. They'd not been to school.
Genesee County Prosecutor David Layton says on the day police were at the home in November, the owner of the house stopped by, concerned, believing the house was falling into disrepair and the couple wasn't letting him in the house, instead leaving the rent on the porch.
I can't think of what else this is other than extraordinary, terrible neglect. And to me, that's willful and wanton misconduct, which is second-degree murder.
Jesus.
And police described the living conditions in the home as a hoarding situation. Now, I could not reach the O'Brien's attorney for comment. They are being held at the Genesee County Jail on no bond.
Turn to the other.
Wow, y'all. That's a lot. So the father had health insurance, but the kids weren't registered in school or anything. So that's a lot right there. Whenever something's not on the radar, though, how can people step in and help? You know, so unfortunately, you know, that little boy, he neglected, you know. So yeah. When a child disappears from every system meant to see him, who is responsible for not noticing? That, you know, that's crazy. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you think. If you're catching this on a rewatch, make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button. Let me know what you think about this situation. And I